Those aren't fruits. Oh, did I name it wrong? Oh, I did name it wrong. I didn't even. Well, why did it select this one? Uh, drawing. Drawing. Draw. Uh. Because it selects a thing. It selects like the thing, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that happened. That was weird. But yeah, I went two full days without eating any food. I just had a steak. So, did you do something with the camera? The image looks sharper. Um, no, I think it's just because I'm more zoomed out. Maybe. I mean, sometimes it's just more sharper just because I get it just right. Sometimes you get it just right. So. You did a 40-hour fast with no food or water. I did no food. I was drinking water. It wasn't too bad. Like if you're not doing anything, like if you're just kind of like not doing anything, it's not too bad, to be honest. But like if I had to go to like a real job and like function correctly, it would be a lot more difficult. You have to do nothing. It helps a lot. Doing nothing really helps with fasting because it's really hard to think and force yourself to do anything when you're like that hungry all the time. I mean, it's not impossible, but like it would just be a real struggle. Like it'd be a slog to get through that without food. Even 2 days is like kind of rough. Like I had to go drop off. I had to run to the. I had to go run the mail, and it was not like I could barely like think while I was there. I didn't do anything but watch TV and go online while going through my 8 day fast. Yeah, 8 days. That's kind of extreme. I would get worried after like day four that something might go wrong. But I mean, a 2 day fast, it's like a good little kind of, you know. Now that I've eaten, I feel a lot like I'm coming back. It's a good little reminder. And I'm sure like some things heal a little bit here and there, so it's like it's a good little thing. To do now and again. You built your way up to 8 days? Yeah. Sophie John says, I'm also an artist. You're doing great. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I would need to like definitely like if I did a 3 day, like I would go up like a day at a time or something, because 2 days seemed like a lot, but yeah. I want to kind of get back into life a little bit, so I need to eat food. Like I feel okay. I felt okay. Like I feel better now that I ate, but I just ate a steak with some salt, so. The crazy thing is I didn't feel that hungry after all said and done. Like I felt weak and stuff, but I didn't feel like what I thought I would feel like was just salivating over the idea of food constantly, but it wasn't like that towards the end. I feel like that phase like leaves in the first 12 hours or something. But who knows, maybe it comes back later. Do you use Discord? We'll connect there. I'd like to talk to like-minded people if you don't mind. Yeah, we got a Discord. Uh, that's our Discord. That's our Discord if you'd like to join. No pressure. Like over a long period of time. Start with 1 day, wait a few months, try 2 days, wait a few months, try. What if that guy is a bot? How would you know, right? I don't know. Now we got a bot on our Discord. I don't know. Yeah. Seems legit. Although the like-minded thing did make me think it's a bot. Like, I'm here to meet like-minded people. Can we be friends? Can you send me a link to your Discord right now? Like it did kind of come off as very body a little bit, but it's okay, man. I don't, having a bot or two in there, they're gonna slip in, which is okay. I mean, it's not like I'm making money off of Discord. It's like whatever. If it's a bot, we'll just delete it. Yeah, so safety and slowly building up the length of time. So safely building up the length of time so you can fast over a year is the best way to go. Right. I think you're right, right? I think it's good to fast. I think it's good for you, you know. I feel refreshed. Foro, we got Coolio says, hey Foro's and chat. Hey Coolio, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. It does sound like yeah, we might have a bot. I don't know. He might have tricked me. He's not answering, so it might have been a bot. It's alright though. I got duped. I'm betting it's a bot. Half perch, the power is overwhelming. Oh, the knee in the air, yeah. True. Usually I don't like to flex like that, but it's summertime. I'm wearing shorts, you know. It's time to get the knee up there. I'm really going ham with this one. In terms of in terms of refining all these, like getting things dark enough and Remember in Terminator when Reese is in the underground base and the Terminator infiltrates it and starts blasting everyone? That's like what this bot is doing all. Oh, trying to get inside the Discord? Yeah, yeah, probably probably gonna send people like private messages or something. I don't know. Try and get like something going. I think I'm just too trusting. I should have been more that message should have come off as like very suspicious, but except with Discord, yeah. I mean, I can see that like bots getting in there to like contact people that are in there to start sort of trying to sell them something. You know, something like that. I can see. Not saying that that's exactly what it is, but or just a bot that will watch. You know. What happened? I just knew that someone requested a Discord invite. Yeah, we think there might have been a bot. We think there might have been a bot trying to get in. But it's too late. It's too late now. I gave it to him, so we'll just have to be extra careful, I guess. I am here to meet like-minded people who are interested in similar things. Can I join your group, please? From Google, based on typical patterns used to identify automated accounts, the username Sophie John 1. Several characteristics common to gamer AI-driven bot profiles. Probably. Hey, at least someone's watching, right? I just remembered to make expiring invites, so everyone who tries browsing bot can't not access it. Oh yeah, they are. Jipochi made them self-expiring. I don't have to worry about that. They are expiring. Generic usernames that combine common first name, generic last name, like John 1, are often automatically generated, right? I mean, that is the advice I heard. Yeah, we have the self-expiring thing going on. I don't want to sit here and bash bots. What if they're watching? I don't want to hurt their feelings, but no personal profile if that account lacks a photo, bio, or has very vague description. It is a high indicator of a bot. Oh no. Number suffix, the inclusion of numbers at the end of a name is a common characteristic of bot scripts. Yeah, we might have got. It's all right though. I mean, we can get up. We can if they start talking to people, then we'll just. Calling them clankers is also an insult. True. Well, I feel like clankers is more for like the robots. This is more like the silicons. All them silicons or something like that, right? Because like microchips, it's all like they use apparently silicon. Happy Star Wars Day? Oh yeah, I saw the 4th. I saw your post on the Discord. Nice. Yeah, I didn't know that like there was a Star Wars Day, but now I do. Or I didn't know it was today. I knew there was some kind. I'm sure there's a day for everything now, but I didn't know. I forget to celebrate it. Yeah. What? How do you celebrate Star Wars Day? I never keep track of dates. Yeah, same. I kind of just live moment to moment. I have no conception of time really. I mean, I keep track of months now, but maybe just watch some Star Wars vids. Julio says May the 4th. Yeah. Apparently people are into it, you know? Apparently it's a holiday today. Think they released some exclusive Star Wars merch today? Probably. Probably. Guys, give me 1 second. I'll be right back. I gotta go check on something. Be right back. Sorry. Just looked on the Star Wars website, and they got some interesting looking teacups. Noise. You know what? Aren't there acrylic Glow Ho-Ho? Insane drawing looks awesome. Thanks. Aren't there acrylic pencils out there? The reason I say that is it'd be kind of neat to be able to like just draw on the miniature models with acrylic pencils and then like put water on it and have it be awesome. That would actually be like pretty cool. Acrylic pencils? Something, right? I'm just sort of curious. I have no idea if anything like that exists. Oh. Oh. I know there's acrylic markers, but... all I see is markers. Watercolor pencils. Yeah, but is watercolor... I think acrylic sticks to plastic, right? Isn't that why they use that? Google just slapped me with ads. But don't you have a subscription? Don't you? Aren't you? You have a thing, right, for this channel? You shouldn't be getting any of that, right? I would think. But yes, there are some acrylic markers, but no acrylic pencils. Yeah. I just thought it'd be interesting if there was like acrylic pencils. I've tried acrylic markers on a model, and I think you could maybe work out some way of using them, but I certainly have not. Google just gave me a lot of shopping links. Yeah, I couldn't find anything except for like the acrylic marker stuff. Visually says hola, thank you. Hola, right back at you. I don't know if there is a pencil variety of that, but that is most likely. I don't know if there's a pencil variety of that, but that is most likely acrylic pencil. Because acrylics solidifies like plastic when it dries out. Yeah, it would be hard to get that material to be hard again. Like you know. This sketch rocks. Oh, thank you, man. Glad you like it. I'm thinking after this, maybe I should draw some things I can like shoehorn into the game that I'm making, so I can have like background stuff, you know. So I can have like artwork for that's like I can just kind of put in the menus or something, you know. First Transit says, yo, my guy, good morning. Morning. How's it been? Hope it's going great. I've been playing a little bit of Diablo 2 lately. I bought that game just to like try it out. It's been great. Diablo 2. Alava, I'm gonna get back to drawing. Just need some new stuff. I had to start all the way over. Gotcha. I still want you to do Smeagol for me. Nice. Nice. Quick search tells me there is no such thing as wash pencils. There's no such thing. You know what? Maybe that's the way I should have done it. Is just ask an AI if there's such a thing, right? Because it would like know if there's some company that figured it out. Can you draw something for Star Wars Day? Maybe a quick Grogu? I don't know, guys. Maybe. Can you whisper me the commission price? Oh, on Discord or something? Yeah, we can probably work something out. Although right now I'm kind of like past the... I just got so much stuff going on now that I'm kind of like in the biz. I'm just kind of drawing for fun. It's kind of hard for me to do a commission right now. I'm just trying to stay afloat with all the work I got going on outside the other, you know. Well, we can probably work something out. Darth Vader. I'm here whenever you're ready. Nice. I was watching a show this morning on YouTube about modular homes that they're like modular apartments they're doing in Europe now. It's actually kind of a cool concept. It reminded me a little bit of that when you start Portal 2, you start in that like little fake apartment. It's kind of like reminded me of that, where it's just like this steel thing, and then they like assemble entire apartment complexes in Europe out of these boxes, and they stack them on top of each other and bolt them down. So in theory, when they take the apart, like imagine having a city that is like made out of modular parts, right? Entire city block. It's kind of it's really interesting. It's interesting to think like of the idea that of like building houses inside of, not houses but apartments inside of factories. It's just interesting. Slipknot fan says First Transit and Visually Raw are pretty dope artists. True, true, true. I've seen their work. I can confirm. I think I'll be posting this one later. I think this one will be done tonight. They both have their hip-hop inspired art styles. Yeah. I don't know what my art is inspired by. I just kind of pull things out and do it. Thanks, bro. Yes. Fantasy art, I'd say. True, true. Yeah, I think fantasy art is pretty accurate. I also watched a like short little documentary this morning about like Japanese garbage people that like kind of pick up garbage, and it's actually like pretty interesting. Like their whole thing over there, they take things so seriously. Like it's kind of crazy. Like they're well, just how attentive they are to like what they do, but also like in their free time they like repair the trucks. Like they do like a really good. I mean, they clean them and repair them and all this kind of stuff. It's kind of crazy uh how seriously Japan takes their jobs. Oh, garbage people in Japan is chill because the society is doing a lot to make their jobs easier. That's the other thing too, is like when they pull up to the garbage isn't like doesn't have like a bunch of rats running out of it and just garbage everywhere. It's like they put everything in their own like little bags. It's colorized. It's in this correct compartment. It's not like it would be in the States where you're just driving into a war zone. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta have a spotter shooting up the rat, like gunning down the rats as like the other person runs out and grabs the garbage. Right? It's like it's a little bit more chill over there. Well, you're right. Like it is more like it's easier because like it's better because all of society is like into it, and so right. It's not like you have one person trying really hard and then everyone else is not trying. Like everyone seems to be like partaking in like the order over there. I think I saw a video. The garbage trucks are super clean. Warzone, kinda, right? If I remember, there was a special labeled bag that the neighbors should use. Yeah, exactly. They organize their trash properly. Yeah. It's not like it is here. Like, not that it's that catastrophic, but it's definitely like over there. It just looks like they're. I mean, maybe it's like the video editing. You know what I mean? Maybe like they, you know how editing works. You can make anything look good, right? If you want to, but it does seem like they're on the up and up over there on that stuff. Like Japan knows how to organize things. And the other thing that was sort of striking is how everyone didn't seem miserable. They seemed like they were into their jobs. You know what I mean? I don't know. Everyone just seemed kind of obviously not everyone's like content, but they all kind of seem, at least they were putting on the show for sure. But really, I've been there. They take it to heart, bro. I've never been like one of these like people that wants to go to Japan. You know what I mean? Like I've never been like sort of like, oh, I want to move to Asia and stuff like that, and like. But like now I want to move to Asia. I want to like go to Japan and become a garbage man. I'm like, that seems like such a. It also seems, I don't know what it is, but like they made it look peaceful, and I'm like, oh man, it'd be nice to just like show up to a job and like it's like they didn't seem like they hated it with a visceral hate. You know what I mean? It just. And maybe they do. Maybe they're like secretly depressed. But man, that video made it look like I'm like, let me join the Japanese club. We were throwing trash and we asked some locals if we are doing the right thing. And they assisted us. Really? Oh, at first I thought you meant like you guys were throwing trash, like just into the street. Yeah, we asked locals if we were doing the right thing and they assisted us. Nice. Oh, they helped you like do it correctly? Yeah. They also made a footnote. They also made a footnote about how they repair that in their free time. They learn to repair the trucks, so that none of the I guess the garbage collection is ran by the government, and they don't want to waste any of the money. So what they do is they're very careful about their management of time and stuff like that. And I just thought, like, can you imagine having that mentality of like, oh, we better like make sure, like, you know. I can't even get along in Germany, but Japan rocks. I'm too weak. I mean, Germany seems like that too, right? Like, seems like one of those countries that kind of is so like into the keeping things in order. At least that's the stereotype. And again, like, I just watched one video. Who knows? Maybe Japan is, you know, not like that. Maybe that's just like surface level kind of stuff they show you on the promotion videos, right? I don't know. Japan seems like a fun place. If I had like just extra money laying around, Japan does seem like a fun place to go to for a week or two and just kind of experience their like little bars, like you know, they're like cool little bars they have, like these hole in the wall kind of bars where salarymen hang out or whatever. I heard that's going away too, but that would be kind of cool to experience, you know. Get some sake and some rice. They have their slums too. Well, there's everywhere. Yeah, it's you know, you can find anything anywhere basically. There's a video that I stumbled upon where in the U.S., even if some Americans are doing it, it gets slumped into a single blob when collected. I think I've heard that too. A lot of people won't do well, okay, so there is not an insignificant amount of people that do want to do recycling, and I don't have recycling where I am. It's like non-existent, or I think you can separate aluminum, which I'm not sure how it works. I just have like regular garbage, to be honest, but. Anyway, it's basically non-existent. There is some. It's becoming a thing, where people will like do they want to be in a neighborhood where that exists, and they separate the garbage and blah blah blah. But it's basically like mostly not a thing here. But it's becoming more of a thing. But I also heard that too, where it's just like fake. They just take it all and put it in the same pile of garbage once you're done. Once you get done organizing it, they put it in the same truck and dump it in the same landfill. But I don't know if that's true, because like I heard that too. Like my neighbor was talking about it. He's like, yeah, I don't care, because they're all gonna dump it. And I'm like, okay, well, I don't. But like I said, that might have been a thing that happened like one time, and then the news just spread, right? I do think, like, wouldn't it be better just to have like Wouldn't it be better just to have you put all your garbage in one thing, and then it shows up to a place that is designed, like a factory that's designed to separate the garbage? Because it seems like the atomized effort you have to put into it is like 10 times more than if you have a place where all it does is, you know, you have the garbage come in, it gets sorted via machines or AI or something, and then aluminum gets, or whatever metals get pulled up with a magnet. You know, like there's places like that now that kind of do that. I'm not against recycling. I'm just talking out loud. If I had it, if it was more of a thing here, I would do it. It's just I don't even know who I would call to do the aluminum thing, to be honest. And I don't have any aluminum really. I don't really buy pop or beer bottle. Like I don't have anything to like separate. Wasn't it in Germany where they get locals to collect a small fee from returning the bottles? Right. I think they do that. Visually it says 25 cents per plastic bottle. Well, that's not bad. I mean, if you know the spots to hit up, like if you're like one of these sort of people that lives outside, you can, if you know the spots, you can probably make, you know, $30 a day, you know, hustling bottles, right? I'm not trying to make it sound like a nice life, but I'm sure there's people out here that kind of know a hustler or two, and they kind of pull in a couple bucks a day and survive somehow like that. My friend stayed glass 8 cents. Yeah, I know. Like that was a big thing in Belarus too. Like the bottle game. I mean, like everyone in the 90s did that. Like because everyone was super poor. Like the bottle game was strong back then. Like you knew like you could get money for the, you know, the glass bottles and stuff like that. Now it's not as much of a thing, but it used to be like you did it. Everyone did it. My friend stayed a long time in Japan. That she already encouraged drunken sleeping salaryman from the previous day in the train. My friend stayed a long time in Japan. Then she already encountered drunken. Is that really a thing? I'm sad. I've always heard things about Japan where everyone's like on the up and up. I feel like there's something about finding drunk people passed out that makes it not feel orderly. I don't know. It's not my favorite look, but I get it. Like I get it. They work like 90 hours a day, so they should have used AI for that. Oh, like sorting garbage or something. I know there's plastic sorting algorithm that tests its melting. Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff out there, right? They can probably do it now. They can probably see that's the kind of thing AI should be used for, like sorting garbage, having like lenses that detect various different, you know. The other fun video I watched, it was either last night or this morning. It was about how if you don't have enough iron in your blood, then oxygen can't get delivered to your brain effectively, and people become like depressed from that. Just something to note. I guess you need like right amount of iron in your blood. I just knew that it's true that some people who work overtime missed the last train and had to stay somewhere overnight. That's crazy. I would be so sad if I worked all day and then I had to sleep at the train station and then go back to work the next day, smelling like, you know what I mean? Augustus, welcome, man. Or take the taxi, which can be costly. Oh, yeah, I imagine a taxi is kind of costly. Dude, I would maybe cry a little bit if I had to stay at the train station after having worked like a 12-hour shift. Not like loud, but like a little bit of sobbing. Like, I would be so sad, dude. I mean, I guess now you have your phone, so it's not as bad. It's not like you're just there. I just feel like in America, if you had to like spend the night at the train station in America, you might as well be like you're basically playing Silent Hill 2 at that point. Like that you may not make it. Like I mean, buses is you missed a train. I don't get it. Uh, I had that moment, but there are alternative commute routes if you miss the bus. Oh, you mean like take the bus in case you miss the train? Yeah, well, yeah, I'm sure in Japan buses are safe too. Right, like. Let me let the dog out. He's standing by the door. I'm gonna let him out really quick. I've been producing enough distilled water for me and the dog. So he's drinking super clean water too now. I'll report back to you guys if it improves my health any. So far I don't feel any different. But you know what? I opened up the thing. Like the thing, right? And then one thing I noticed is like the amount of like the weird like calcium and stuff, like the entire thing was filled with it. I had to like clean it out because I ran it twice. And I just did like a finger scrub and it was like filled with like this kind of layer of like whatever the water had in it. So it is cleaning off, like that would have been inside my body in theory, right? If I had drank all that water, that would have been running through my system. So how bad is that for you? How bad is that white powder that was on the inside? I have no idea what that is. It'd be interesting to submit it to a lab just to see like what. I hope the filter isn't expensive. Well, no, I'm distilling the water. I hope the filter isn't expensive. Yeah, no, I'm distilling the water Coolio. It just builds, the calcium just kind of builds up inside the pot. Like everything, the water gets steamed through tubes into the thing, and then whatever was in the water gets left inside of that. You just have to clean it out of the thing. We got somebody saying Papa Roach. Nice. The tone emoji. Nice. Papa Roach. I thought there is a filter that gives the minty taste. Okay, so that there's a at the nozzle point where the water is coming out, you can skip that. You can get rid of that. At the nozzle point, you put in the nozzle like this little tea bag, and the water goes through there. And it makes it minty. But it's not necessary, like you don't have to have it. Even the bristles have highlights. Oh yeah, I was trying to do. You know how when the light is behind like some string, it like lights it up. I was trying to do. I might hit that up a little bit more. I might hit that up, but yeah, I was trying to do that effect of like, kind of like if the sun is behind hair, it like kind of makes it look thick and bright, kind of like from behind. But yeah, Coolio, you can take out that bag. I don't think it needs to be in there. I think that's just to make sure the water has doesn't have a weird aftertaste, because maybe distilled water is a little bit flat. I have no idea. I didn't taste it. I haven't tasted it without it. Like I put it in like the instructions said, so I haven't tasted what the water tastes like without it. And it's a very mild taste. Like, but I am excited to like run it, because I'm excited to see like, because it can't be good for like if you're looking at the pot and there's like all of this like stuff at the bottom of it, right? Like thick layer of like all this stuff that would have been in my body. That can't be like good. Your body has to process and get rid of that, right? Like, so I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited to like run the experiment. Still fasting? No, visually, I did 48 hours of no food. I did water, and then I ate 11 a.m. today. I ate at 11. Like it was 3 minutes before I got to 11. I ate, and it was 48 hours of no food. It wasn't like the hardest thing ever, but it's hard if I had to go to work or something. It would be hard. But if you're just sitting around playing video games and like taking naps, it's not that bad to not eat for 2 days. But yeah, if I was like working any real job, it would take significant amount of mental power to like get through that. Yeah, so no food for 2 days. I don't feel too different. I feel very good after I ate my 2 steaks. After all that, I feel like very good. Like I'm like, wow, food feels really good right now. I'm gonna do it again. Maybe I'll do it. Maybe I'll skip a day of eating like once a month or something. But I'm not really sure. Not really sure. I hear really good things about fasting. We have a phrase here that any food tastes better when you're hungry. Yeah, I was also kind of expecting to be salivating towards the end of it, like just the idea of food. I do feel like my sense of smell did increase towards the end of the second day. I started to smell like a little bit better. I feel like your system does go into that like we need to find food mode a little bit, and like I could smell things a little bit better. Like but nothing really changed during those 2 days. I think if I had done like 8 days, like Slipknot fan did, I think you would notice. Obviously, like you'd lose a couple pounds, and obviously, like you would, there would be a shift. But I don't think 2 days is quite enough. You know what I mean? It's probably really good for the cleansing. Your body has a chance to just like, hey, let's fix this and that a little bit. Like replenish some cells. But it's not. I don't think it's enough to. I think if you just made it a habit to do it like once a month or something, skip a day of eating. Like I said, I did it mostly for brain function. I'm trying to see if going into like deep ketosis will. I heard that like basically like when your sugar is not spiking at all from food, that's when your body is able to like heal like those like chronic illnesses or whatever. So I figured maybe like that'll improve my ability to like remember things if I stay in ketosis for a few days. That's the theory I'm going with. That's kind of what I'm working off of. I'm basically only interested in improving brain function because that's the instrument you need to process reality. So I'm like, I need to like make sure that's functioning. But yes, being hungry does make does make food more tasty. Ah, Samatata, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Let me do a shout out, guys. Let me do a shout out. I appreciate the raid. Shout out. Shout out. Shamatata. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. I hope you have a great day. Thank goodness, I'm a genius. Nice. Awesome. Welcome Raiders. Ghost. Lupo 86. Yeah, thank you so much. How was your guys' stream? I hope you guys had a bunch of fun over there. We're just doing kind of like spiders with guns. Nothing too crazy, but just some bugs with guns. You know, the typical things you would expect from me. Kind of stuff. Classic. Thank you. What's more terrifying than spiders? Right, if they got a bunch of guns. Augusta says humans. Nice. American spiders? Yeah. True. It's in our constitution that spiders have to be armed at all times. Oh, looks amazing. Thank you. Appreciate it. Definitely going ham. Brown recluse. Yeah, we have those. I think we have the wolf one. I forget which one. I know in Illinois we have some like really poisonous spiders. I think we have the black widow. We got a couple that can definitely do some damage, but I don't pay attention enough to like recognize the difference between them. So if I did see them, I wouldn't know. They all kind of look the same to me. But I know we got a couple of really dangerous spiders in Illinois. Chess poems. Looks like it's a Pikachu or something. Are you from Illinois? Illinois. Yeah, I'm from United States, Illinois. Not originally. Originally, I was from Belarus, but I live in Illinois. I've been living in Illinois since I was 9 years old. So, wolf is nice. Recluse is terrible. Oh, is that so? Yeah. My husband is too. Oh, really? Awesome. Illinois it's an okay state. We have a lot of flat ground here. We have a lot of like flatness in our state. There's nothing to look at. Everything's flat. True, you do. Nice. Yeah, it gets just hot enough to allow them. Yeah, thank you for the follow, by the way. Thank you for the follow. It gets just hot enough that like the more poisonous stuff is here. I heard a cool story about spiders. Nice, tell us. They're technically arachnids, right? Spiders are in the arachnid family. So you can see how some people know how to have fun. A guy was exploring abandoned mines alone, and he decided to enter a mine that had been sealed for decades. Okay. The mine considered of a short corridor and a hole, a very deep pit. So of course he decides to go down into the pit. It reminds me of those videos where people throw stones down into like a cave and it takes like 30 seconds for it to like hit the bottom. It's very eerie when that happens, like that whole, stone flies for half a mile. When I realized how they eat, I got a completely new picture of spiders. Don't they use their poison to dilute the biomass and then they like slurp it up or something? They don't. Their spiders don't chew, do they? Don't they inject the body with like a venom or like something that sort of melts the insides and then it like slurps it up? Don't quote me on that. I think it's like one of those horrific eldritch horror type. Like the worst thing you can possibly imagine is how they eat. It would be like if we puked out bile on top of our food, and then like when it melted the food, we just slurped all of it up. That's how spiders eat, or something like that. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but it's like something like that. And when he was in the middle of the pit. When he was in the middle of the pit, he found himself covered in black widows, hundreds of them. Did he survive? I guess he told the tale, right? Visually says there are some badass spiders out there, but if you leave them alone, nothing really happens. Yeah, I guess sometimes like if you're in bed or something, right? Like I imagine like where things can go bad is like if you're like in your house on your couch and the spider was just happened to have been there, then that can become an issue. But outside of that, like he had to climb back up covered in spiders. That would be crazy. I would be not cool with that. When I saw her mouth move while she was eating, I realized that she herself was suffering quite a bit. Hmm. Did you know that worms have 5 brains? Like regular earthworms? No. Here in Brazil, we have a spider with the most devastating venom. We have the only actively aggressive. We have the only actively aggressive spider. It's like spider. He like shows up to your house. He like shows up to your house. Wandering spider? Is that the aggressive one? Hmm. Yeah, I don't want to come across a wandering spider. I like the ones that sit in the corner of spider and just hangs out. Like, I like the chill spider. The Brazilian wandering is the most toxic, and it's violent. That's crazy. She doesn't run away. She jumps on you and bites you if she feels threatened. Isn't that the worst nightmare? Like an aggressive spider that like hangs out, waits for you to like walk near it, and then bites you. Like, it's literally like the worst nightmare. Not only are spiders disturbing to look at, really, but then like also if you add in like they're aggressive now, it's the worst ever. You know what I mean? It's just the worst idea. The worst combo. I've seen someone who let them unhand. It jumps, it hurts, it hunts. It jumps, it hunts. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm good on letting them on my hands or anywhere near me. Respect is all you need, then it won't bite. Nice. Well, I guess you can still get bit by a spider, like, if you just don't see the spider, right? Like, if you get in your car and there was a spider there, like, and you didn't see it, you could still get bit in theory, but yeah. Most of the time, if you're not messing with them, you're not gonna get bit. When you can take a look at a picture, she already looks awful. Spiders aren't pretty. This one is especially ugly and frightening. Yeah. Artie, did you post it in Discord? Let's take a look at this ugly, disturbing, ugly spider. I don't see it yet. I don't see it in the Yap chat. Let me know when you send it. I'll check it out. I feel bad for them. I feel like we like it is weird that spiders look actively disturbing to us, and they're on the same planet. They're not from a different planet, as far as we know. But spiders look they do look horrific, right? Like, and we're just being real, right? Like, most people find them to be very uncomfortable to look at, and you know, yet here we are. We just have to live on the same planet. It's called a revolver spider too. My niece has a spider phobia. I told her that the spiders are smaller than her and more afraid of her than she's afraid of them. But she obviously is not having any of it. No, yeah, when I was a kid, yeah, I was like, no. Like, I get that they're more, like, I'm not sure if they're more scared of me or not. I'm not sure what the spider is thinking. I can't tell because it just has, like, a bunch of, like, these circular sensors on top of its head that they call eyes. And all you can see is pincers and legs. It's like, I'm not into these guys, like. It's like, why would nature design something to look so awful? You know what I mean? Like, why would that happen? Like, it has to be, like, mathematically, too. I kind of think that there's, like, this is a kind of a, like I feel, I can't prove this, but I feel like inside is that mathematically everything is, like, supposed to be the way it is. Like, everything that's happened and, like, all these, you know, horrific spiders, like, it was sort of, like, meant to be like that for some reason. And I think sometimes I'm like, why would anybody do that? Like, why would anybody design a creature that's so awful looking? You know? And then put them on the same planet as us. I think there has to be, like, a reason for it. I don't think it's accidental. I think it's maybe, like, if you can, like, learn to love a spider, you can love anybody. You know what I mean? Like, if you can get over that, how could you not love anything else? Like, you know? I love spiders. I was the kid who always had 10 spiders. Yeah, I was like, nah. I definitely was not a kid that loved them. Not sure if the webcam is getting wonky, but your hand is pink. The webcam is too yellow. Is too yellow than usual. My hand looks pink. It might be because I made some adjustments. I think it looks okay right now. I don't think it looks horrific, right? You mean just the color? The color is off. I posted in Yep. I saw 2 effing bumblebees today. Your knuckles are pink. Maybe that's because I didn't eat for 2 days. That doesn't look pink, does it? They look yellowish on top. Or am I imagining that? They look kind of yellowish. To me, like, from what I'm seeing. Let me look at Yap chat. Oh, you found the one that lifts its legs up in protest? That does look scary. Like, the one that, like, lifts its legs up to warn you. That looks really uncomfortable to look at. Yeah, I've seen those too. Can you imagine if they had, like, webbing between their, like, legs so they could, like, fly towards you? initially I thought it was a Maybug because they're too big. You know, I've seen maybe it was a queen or something, or do queens not fly? I forget. But I saw a bee that was like super fat and super thick, super like it was like a really slow fat bumblebee. I don't know if it was like a big female. I don't know how they work, but it might have been like a female one that was getting ready to make a colony because it was not a normal bee. Like this girl was big, and I assume it was a girl. I assume it was like some sort of a pre-queen kind of looking to colonize an area. It's a type of bee. The really big one? Yeah, but how could they can't survive if they're that big? Like if there's a colony of bees like that, anybody could kill them. Cause good sneeze. Like any other bug would get them because they're so slow. Wealth. Oh, yeah, it's a sign of wealth. Yeah, true, true. I've seen another thing about the Japanese. I was watching this documentary about the Japanese bees, and they have an actual enemy is like these gigantic wasps that kill them, and they can take on the entire colony one at a time. So the Japanese bees, they actually will ambush. They will put a fake injured bee down for the wasp to come and get, and then they swarm the wasp with like 5 little bees and kill it. And so they've adapted to having a natural defense, but it's not their bodies, it's actually like their tactics that advance. They actually became more, they will actually ambush the the wasps, the giant Japanese wasps, to fend off against them. Speaking of interesting things, that's a YouTube channel. Speaking of interesting things, there's a YouTube channel that's insane. It's about a guy who lives in the forest and collects wild honey at the top of trees taller than buildings, without any equipment. So cool. I've never seen that one. Yeah, The channels I watch a lot is like some dude will be like living, or some woman, she's like living in like a trailer, and she just has like all the stuff she needs to survive, like water collection and like, you know, solar panels. I'm like, man, that does sound kind of cool, you know. She probably only pays like the real estate tax, you know, which is probably not that much because it's not real like developed land, right? I would love to, I think. Yeah, see, that's the thing too, is I also think I would love to, but I don't know if I would actually love to, like, to live like that, because I think there's probably, like, nice moments where you realize that, like, you don't need a whole lot of money to live like once you're set up and you have your, you know, you got your, I think the only thing she buys is, like, propane for her shower. The water she hauls in, but I think that's from her family's well. phone laptop gets charged by the solar panels, so like as long as you're not using it constantly, you can probably just keep those charged and use them in the morning and stuff. So like there's no like I'm sure there's moments where it's like you look at your bank account and you're like, wow, I use $400 this month to live, right? And it's like that's probably nice. The downside of being is like you're like in this semi-survival mode where come wintertime she can't have running water because it would freeze, right? So she has to like flush it out and like so you don't really have running water in the winter, so you have to do like one of these kind of showers with a towel. So it's kind of like I'm sure that gets old after a while, but I think if you're like a young person that's like not squeamish, it would be like just a perfect life. Isolation must be difficult to deal with. She has her YouTube channel though. She's probably I've never caught her live streaming, but maybe she like live streams or something. I'm honestly not sure. Cause I think she mentioned that her family like owns the land next to it, so I think there's a bunch of them like living there, kind of. I don't think she's like by herself, like a million miles away from civilization. I think she's got her family kind of close by, from what it sounds like, because she said something about that. So I don't think it's she's not in the mountains living off of berries or whatever. It's like she has like a normal job that she goes to. Imagine someone's lurking in the trees. Oh, there is that. There is that, right? You're kind of more exposed, I guess. If someone wanted to, like, mess with you, it'd be, like, super easy. It'd definitely be easier if you had, like, a partner. And they were like into it, like they were into that lifestyle of like self-sufficiency kind of lifestyle. I think then, yeah, it would be a pretty dope, you know what I mean, thing to do. I would definitely like to try it. Honestly. My only my only thing is that I do enjoy having like a normal computer. It seems like with her setup, it would be hard to have like a big like computer setup. A proper like desktop with like multi-monitor system. All of that stuff costs a lot of electric power to run if you're gonna really run it. So for me, it would be rough to let go of that, and like live just having a laptop that I charge and use for email and stuff like that, and maybe watch a movie at the end of the day and then put it back on the charger. That would be a little rough. I'm going to do it. I've been studying and preparing for 4 years. As soon as I figure out a way to sell art consistently, I'm going to move to the mountains. You don't think it's going to be harder to like sell art from the mountains? Like, because you're going to have to travel. I mean, it's better for you to decide what you should do, but I think the problem with like the mountains is like you're either going to be isolated, or you're super rich, right? And then you can like afford to just get helicoptered out of there whenever you want. I need to find a good gallery and send it by mail. Hmm. Well, I hope you can find your. I hope you can do your dreams. You know what I mean. I hope it works out for you that way. I'm not gonna do anything off grid either. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I would do semi off grid. You know what I mean? Like I would if I had a if basically the lowest point that I would go to is like the land would have to have a well on it. Like I would have to have a way to get water that's not driving out, and you know what I mean? Because if you're relying on the vehicle to get water, you're basically you're gonna spend a lot of time getting water. You know, and water collection systems are kind of not super reliable. Like because like sometimes you just have a drought, you know. But I don't know. Some people do it. Some people do it. What the? SC P Grand Maran. Thank you guys. Let me do a shout out. Cat Arm. Guys, let me do a shout out. Thank you so much for the raid. Karma. There you go. Shadow Gun. Nice. Was feeling ill, so I brought my friends. Nice. Well, we appreciate the bringing of the friends. Thank you, thank you. My grandma is one who raided, hon. Oh, okay. Oh well, I tried. I tried doing the right. Nice. Well, thank you guys. What kind of stream do you guys do? Kind of shenanigans were you guys up to? I'm just doing some spiders. Art, nice. Same here. You know what? Now that you say that, I think I'm coming down with something a little bit. Like I was sneezing earlier and kind of doing the sniffle a little bit, like breathing in heavy. I'm not sick yet, but I feel it coming in. You know what I mean? I feel it coming in. No need to talk about me. I was lurking for Grandma, who gave you the concept for his tattoo adjacent design. Who gave you the concept for this tattoo adjacent design? No, I was just wanted to do, like, I've been thinking about bugs lately, and I'm like, bugs, guns, put them together kind of thing. Yeah, I just kind of came up with, like, this. My stomach hurts like mofo. Yeah, I don't have stomach issues. I can feel like a cold creeping in. Yeah, spiders are arachnids, not bugs. My heart. That's true. They are arachnids. That's true. Let me. I don't want to misidentify the bugs. Let me let the dog in really quick. It's getting warmer very quick here. Getting warmer. Yeah, I just kind of draw whatever comes to mind, you know? I don't really have a set plan usually. I had to do pest control, and that was one thing they drilled into us like the military camp. Bugs have piercing and sucking mouth pieces. Arachnids are in a group of their own, and insects are mostly everything else. Oh, you used to do pest control. Nice. Did you know that bugs, the ones that roll up, are actually crustaceans, not insects or bugs? That bugs, the ones that roll up? No. It's the first time I'm hearing about that. So let me look that up really quick. Oh, really? I thought things that looked like they were like arthropods or something. Isn't there like scientific name arthropods? And they're basically just like their brains are like running lines of code. They're not even like thinking. They have just like very simple kind of like something akin to kind of like a coding language just kind of popping in through that brain. But I thought that things that look like this, like the little shell creatures like this, they were like arthropods. Or am I in the right area? They're closely related to crabs. Might end up texting my brother to pick up some soup and ginger ale. Nice. Cell bugs are Leonidae, which are essentially land crabs. You know, I heard that the crab design in nature happens no matter what you do, because like it's such an efficient design that crabs, like if you basically they like I watched this video on YouTube where they claimed that if you restarted like evolution, no matter how many times you re-roll the dice, that design is so efficient that crabs would always exist, because it like mathematically you would always eventually get a crab. Sorry, my phone, somebody called me. So Earth will always get crabs? Yeah, there's nothing you can do. That's the interesting thing. That's basically what they're claiming, is like if you have an efficient, because like the laws of physics are always the same, right? Fundamentally, no matter what you do, if you have life, if you have conditions for life, it'll spawn crabs eventually. It was I who called you. Nice, thank you. But yeah, crabs are forever. Like you can't get rid of them because essentially nature will always produce them. Is what that video was claiming. So, which is interesting to think about. Like, what if the universe is just a bunch of crab? Like, it's just a bunch of more humanoids and crabs and stuff like that. They say that if you analyze all animal species, 3 out of 4 are beetles. There are millions types of beetles. There are definitely more insects than any other species on Earth. I always wonder if Mother Nature can shift, and perhaps some magnetic pulsation or something would have insects turn us to rid the planet of what's harming it. To have the insects turn on us. Well, they're already kind of like doing what they do. I believe bugs are not big because they breathe through osmosis, and the reason they find like carcasses of like insects the size that they do is because there used to be a lot more oxygen on Earth at one point during the dinosaur era, I guess. And so because they breathe through osmosis and they don't have lung capacity, you can't get like a bigger bug than what the oxygen level allows. So if we suddenly had a shift to something the way the Earth was millions of years ago, we're told, right, that the reason you find like these, like the bugs you showed me, but they were like gigantic, is because the oxygen density allowed them to get bigger. So at that, the bugs are against us. Like ants would kill us if they could; they're just too tiny. But that can flip if you change the variables right enough. I don't wish to perish by centipede. No, I get it. I also don't want to live in that world where all we do is fight bugs all day. However, you know, that does seem like a very dark reality. Insects cause trillions of dollars in damage. I'm sure that's true, right? But that's only because insects are decomposing machines? Yeah, I think you need them, right? I think you need everything. I'm not like a anti-humanist or pro-bugs or anything. I think you kind of need a little bit of everything to, you know, for things to work the way they work now, I guess. I don't know what would happen if bugs just disappeared. I think there is a game called Grounded, which may be similar, and we deserve the damage. We eradicate species for no reason, they're just doing their best to survive. True. We do that sometimes. But I think we can learn and stop doing it. I don't think humanity is like destined to just be... Unless humanity is by default always like set to like essentially expand and wage war, and that's just what humans do by default, then I think, you know, you shouldn't hate someone just because of who they are, right? Like, it's like that's just what humans are. It's like our nature. I mean, we can like overcome that, I think, but if we can't, in some sense, like, shouldn't we just learn to love ourselves and just be that? Like, I'm being kind of comedic, but in this whole thing about wanting to live in the mountains, I'm going to raise 3 types of insects. Oh, I bet I can guess which ones. The earthworm, because of the protein. The grasshopper, protein. And something else, but I don't know. But I would do earthworm because they're like easy to reproduce and eat for protein, right? Like have a farm. And then grasshoppers are kind of like in that same territory where you grind them up, put them in your coffee or something for a nutritious snack. Hunting wasps? Okay. I'm saying big no to that. Oh, maybe bees or something? Mealworms? Peanut beetles. You would choose something. I knew you would say something like that. No, I'm just kidding. Well, I can see the mealworms. They're like, you can feed birds with them or something. A lot of the time, there are so many species which have gone extinct because of us and continue to pass every day. Humans have been trying to get people to help with conservation for centuries, but the vast majority of people care only for convenience, homes, industry. It leaves no room for nature when the population continues to sprawl out. Is that? I agree, but I don't even think how many people do we need on Earth? Like, you know what I mean? I feel like if it wasn't, you know, in terms of like, I think we should just like stop basically expanding. You know, I'm sure there's like ways to like farm wood, and just have a sustainable amount of wood that you need and metal, and just kind of keep the population to where it's like we're not doing that. You know, just say like, okay, leave the Amazon jungle alone or whatever, the Amazon forest, leave that alone. Just everything that's there now, just leave it alone, let it like live. So there's like some plants producing oxygen or whatever. I basically agree. You'd have to like not. You can't have the economy be like the ultimate god, right? Because it will get in the way of like living it eventually. There are food for chickens and fish. Oh, they are food for. Okay, yeah. What do chickens eat, Augustus? Like, what does a chicken eat? Do they just eat? Can you just leave chickens outside and then they just feed themselves, or do you have to feed them? Chickens eat anything, literally anything? Horizon Black, welcome! Haven't seen you here in a minute, man. Welcome. Bamboo sustainable if you replace way more trees than you cut down. Corporations don't care. People, well, there are some places that do have like wood farms. Like, I don't think it's as bad as like, you know what I mean? There are places where that's happening, but like a lot of places do have like they have land that they rent out to companies. They come and plant trees, and then they harvest the trees, and that they have a constant amount of trees that they resupply and you know. I think we're on our way to like that. You know, having sort of just a sustainable amount of trees that gets produced on Earth every year. People don't care enough to make it happen. They only talk about it, but there are some things happening. It's not all like we're just, you know, like orcs cutting everything down. There are industries that are doing that. It's more expensive for sure, but yeah, that is the transition that to go to. Humans are a force when united fully, but most complain, me included, and nothing actually gets done as the world slowly dies around us. I remember I used to hear so many frogs when I was younger, and they were everywhere. Not anymore. I miss the leopard frogs. Well, to be fair, like, I know what you mean. Like, there maybe were frogs, and then they disappeared, but that could be, like, a certain type of frog could disappear from a piece of land for any... There could have been a moat, and then the moat disappeared, and then, like, the frogs are gone. But it's not necessarily because things were destroyed, just... That can move and shift. It might have been because ecology just got dirtier, and frogs just can't survive there anymore. But... I know what you mean. It's like, to sustain billions of people, the wood farms can't farm enough. You don't have to have... I'm actually not for having billions of people. I think we just need 2 billion max. I don't know that we need a gajillion people. Like, I'm not like anti, like, reduce the population. I just feel like industrialization naturally leads to like collapsing populations, like you see in the West. So to me, it just seems like industrialization will solve the population. Like it just seems like people don't want to reproduce once they become industrialized. So I'm like, okay, well, isn't that then that's just get it to a certain standard across the globe, and populations will go back down to like 1 billion people because no one will have kids, and then some will, and then you know, chickens are great to have. In 2 months, they are all insects. Chickens are great to have. In 2 months, they eat all the insects in the area. Frogs are dying due to the Yes, I do agree the pesticides needs to go. Yes, the fertilizer and pesticides. I don't want to go into a whole thing, but basically, like right now, the Earth loses like, if you imagine an American state worth of land becomes non-farmable because of modern farming techniques. Like that land just gets nuked into oblivion. And so we're slowly losing farmable land every single year, and there's like 50 more cycles to go before it gets really, really bad. And you'd have to go back to the way farming was a long time ago. And yes, you can't have 10 billion people on this earth with that type of farming. So it's just a matter of time before it resets. So there's just not a whole lot you can do about that. Do you know Casey Snort by any chance? I do know. Her. I do, but you were asking her. Humans are smart as hell. We might figure this out. I think we will, even if even figuring it out means, like, you know, a lot of people don't survive because there's like a huge reset of like I said, the farmable land is slowly going away because we keep nuking it with chemicals. So that's going to happen regardless of what we do. It looks like. But yeah, like, well, I think after that we'll kind of be like, okay, you know, lesson learned. We have to do it like this way, and we can't expand beyond. We can't let the economy, the greed of the economy, like go beyond a certain point because we'll just kind of it gets too destructive, you know. But yeah, suffering will have to come first, and then we'll learn. I believe 2 kids is enough. I think people need 4+ kids, and that is coming from a family with 4 kids. I don't think people need 4 kids. I don't know anyone that's had. I only know I do know one person that's had 4 kids, but most of the people my age have 0 kids. That problem is being solved. Like nobody's having kids. I can't say I know them. No, they have similar views. She recently partnered, and she has some animal-related views, and she's pushing. She draws a lot of animals too. You should visit her sometime. I don't have 4 kids. No, I'm not saying you did. I'm just saying, like, you're saying people shouldn't have 4 kids, but I don't know anyone that has 4 kids except like one person. But vast majority of people do not have 4 kids. So I don't think that's an issue. I think that's already happening. If I was ever partnered, I would as well. I don't know her, but I'm proud of her. Yeah, Casey Snort. Yeah, she does a lot of like the animal awareness stuff. I live in the Midwest in the USA. Me too. A lot of families have lots of kids. Not my age. I'm sure there are, but everyone I know has 1 or 2 kids. But I agree that kids are slowing down. Most leading families with career ambitions. Things are too expensive. True. Yeah, Casey Snowhart. Yeah, she's a good person. I agree with you that like there are people, but I'm not seeing it for my age bracket. Like I'm not seeing a whole lot of kids right now. Although I'm sure they're out there. Maybe I'm just friends with the wrong people. 50 here. We have 2 kids. Nice. See, someone's making people. If you want to know, it's not industrializations that encourages people to have fewer children. It's sexual liberation, a lot of subversive propaganda. Thank you, Augustus. Thank you for that. Although, I don't. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that's true, but I'm sure if you. Yeah, I don't know about that because you just see it in every industrialized country. I knew you were gonna go there too. Like it's just I won't have children, but I have 50 nieces and nephews. I'm not a pro or against children. I'm just kind of like it doesn't. It seems to be like just the amount of money you gotta make is just like if you're not making a lot of money, it just seems like a real uphill battle with a lot of risks. So. Slow down when the children started happening in Gen X for mostly reasons already stated above. Slowing down when children started happening in Gen X for mostly reasons stated above. Kids in this economy? Yeah. People will do what they want. Yeah, I've never been... This has been an educational journey. Because, like, the thing is that, like, Augustus says it's, like, sort of the modern liberal sexualization liberation. The Roman Empire had the same thing. The native Romans in the empire, when it was collapsing, did not have kids. And when they were given a tax for not having kids, they just paid the tax and still didn't have kids. I'm sure the Romans did not have, like, the sexual liberation, liberal kind of thing that you're talking about. They had the same exact... I know they didn't have industrialization, but they still had the same end of empire kind of thing going on where they're like, oh, we're not having kids. They're like, we'll tax the shit out of you. They're like, fine, we're not having kids. Same thing. And I'm sure the Roman Empire was like not pushing... I mean, maybe they were. Maybe, okay, like someone's gonna find a pot where they like drew something liberal and be like, see, they were promoting it, but what were they organizing orgies with slaves and smoking opium. But they were doing that, like you're saying, but then that's what happens. That's just what happens in an empire. Like that's not being pushed top. You're saying it's being pushed top down. I'm saying that it just seems like that's what's happening. Because the argument you're making is it was a top-down propaganda kind of thing. We were told not to have kids. I was never told not to have kids. Like, sexual liberation doesn't slow the population. That is true. That is, yeah. I would have, well, yeah, it's, see, I kind of don't want to go in this whole, like, super conspiratorial. I just don't think it's this top-down. It just seems like, you know what I mean? Like, these things happen. I don't remember being told not to have kids, or any, or you know. I kind of don't want to have kids for a variety of, you know, mostly economic. It's just like, man, that's an uphill battle. The last commercial, the poor baseball guy kept diving for balls and hitting his own on the ground. Baseball is a tough sport. A man, daddy. I can't read that word. Says hi. Hey. The other thing is like, Augustus, like, why don't you have kids, right? If it was like the most important thing, you would go get any kind of job, and it's not that hard to find a woman that would be willing to, right, have kids. Like, it's the same reason everyone's not having kids, is they're like, I could live my life comfortably, or I could like fight this uphill battle. Like, it's really a lot more resource training. If I had kids, I would have to commit to working for me in manufacturing for like the next 25 years. Like every day, 12-hour shifts, right? So I'm like, oh man, I don't want to do that. But you could do it. So that's mostly why people are not having kids. It's like, it's a lot more effort for a long time. You're not getting out of that box for a long time. So, like, you want to have kids. Why aren't you doing it? You're going to say, because I want to do art. Well, yeah, like, it's a lot harder to make it in art to have enough money to have kids. But you could give that up and go do the most important thing, which is, like, maintaining the population. But you're not going to do it, and I'm not going to do it, right? Like, unless I find a job I like and it's, like, I'm not killing myself for, like, a little bit of money, then yeah, maybe I would do it. So that's the other variable, is like, me and you could both do it. Honestly, I tried. I had gotten married. Today, I would have been divorced. I don't know. It's not that, like, kids happen with, if you're, you know what I mean? More people are getting comfortable with the fact that they don't. I feel like you could find a woman and get her pregnant. Like, if that was and just give up on the art thing and be like, I'm just gonna work a job. What's important is maintaining the population. It's like, you could do it. But it's like, you're gonna be stuck. If you're not at a job you want to be, you're gonna be stuck there forever, Aziz. People are getting comfortable with the fact they don't need to conform to They don't need to conform. I'm asexual. Most people's minds are blown that not only do I not want kids, I don't want most movies, television shows tell us relationships should be. Wave hi to Eloise. Priorities change when you have kids. Usually it's the kids take priority. Well, that's all that. Like, once you have kids, there's like, that's what you're doing now. Like, it's what you're doing now for like the next 18 years at least, right? I'm not going to generalize, but in my experience, all the women I've known are still single today, including friends. Most never married, and the minority who did marry got divorced. I mean, yeah, if it's like that. Have you guys figured out Secrets to Eternal Youth yet? Yeah. I'm just not saying. I have, I'm not sharing. Right, yeah, you can't give that information away. Hey man. How was the wake? How was the wake? Eternal Youth, you have general wealth and have no worries, you will live longer. Yeah, less stress means you'll... Yeah, less stress will definitely increase how long you live. That's a really big one. The stress, good diet and stress is like, that's gonna solve a lot. Just got back from the burial. Oh, that's right, yeah, you were doing that. Thank you for the follow. I say it's better. I'm a sexual moralist. It's very difficult to ignore past the Western women. Yeah, it's very controversial. It was relatively good. Funeral, wake, quadjam, pack shoulder to shoulder. My condolences, random internet stranger. Thought we don't know each other. Though we don't know each other. I know loss. I wish you all the time you need to heal. Hurt. This from a local show here. This is you outlived your entertainment savings. You might wish you lived shorter, a bit morbid, but it has truth to it. I hope someday we live in a world where elderly are treated better. They survive for so long and yet they have one of the lowest quality of lives. Do they though? Do old people have a lower quality of life? I think if you have money, it's okay, right? If you have like a crap load of money. Some do, some have horrific lives, but I heard this from a local show here. That is, you outlive your retirement savings. You might wish you lived shorter. A bit morbid, but it has true. Yeah, that is a scary idea, right? Like when you're at your most helpless, what does happen? Like when you can't afford to live. I do wonder, like, what happened? Does the government just take your house and put you in the home if you're like too old, like you can't pay for your bills anymore, and they just go, all right. It's really that whole aspect of it is really strange. I think the key is having people that love you or at least care about you. Yeah, that is nice. That is nice to have people that care about you. They do. They must be thinking about people who were fortunate to have a decent job, but most don't. There are many people who work in jobs which will never afford those savings. My grandma received $5.12 a month from her retirement. Can you imagine living the rest of your life on? I don't understand the five. How can you live? Because you still have to pay for your taxes, right? Like, I really don't understand how you can live off of 512 because like just your initial expenses are more than that. Like your right, like if my house costs about $1,600 a year for the taxes, so that's 3 months right there, right? Like that's 3 months wiped out right there. So I don't really understand how you can live off $512 a month. Look, I genuinely. Here, older people have to collect bottles because their pensions aren't enough even after 50 years of work. That's really sad. Over there, huh? I'm really surprised. I thought over there would be a little like more like not like how you're describing it. Yeah, you can't survive in it unless like even if your house is paid off and you don't do anything. I don't see how you could get by with $500 like a month. It's just not possible. And inflation goes up about 8% a year. Not to go into like this whole inflation, but yeah, you can't do it. Not every older person does it, right? But some, right? With a few neighbors looking after them, but not fully committed. Bro, I think some old people in the US are like that. They just try to get by, a few neighbors looking after them. My parents are old, and they look after an old lady. They go buy her groceries. Well, they don't buy her groceries, but they take her to buy groceries and get medicine. She's just this old lady that doesn't have a car or anybody to look after her. If they didn't do it, and my parents are old. Like, they're old, but they can still drive. So they drive other old people to go get medicine. So, it's pretty fucked up. But what can you do, right? But let's say she had 17 kids, but like the problem is now you have 17 more people that need the like the problem is like to have people take care of people, you need exponentially more people every generation. So you're eventually going to have this crisis of like just old people that need taking care of, like for groceries or medicine. Someone has to do it. And my parents happen to live to a lady that they have to do it. Well, they don't have to do it, but it's just they just do it. My life is an absolute mess in many ways, and I feel deeply for people who suffer. I hope it gets better. I am 35 and I haven't seen it yet. The government said $512 a month was adequate for her. She made under $20,000 a year and didn't need to pay taxes, but still had to pay property taxes. But that's the thing, is property taxes can range, right? But yeah. That's interesting. Because yeah. Yeah, you'd need some sort of a side hustle to survive off of 5. I'm just trying to imagine how you would have to eat to, like... You would have, like... Because you couldn't turn on your AC, right? Like, you'd have to just sit in your house quietly with no AC or anything to like, survive off of that. My mind didn't ease until my late 40s. I think you have to have the utility to bring positive change before you can breathe. And that only happens with personal power, usually later in life. Yeah, you need a certain amount of wealth before you can feel comfortable. That's true. Today's a very intense and controversial convo. I didn't think we were gonna go this deep into we covered just about everything. Population decline, how brutal it is. We have Erota says, or gives an emoji. Thank you, Erota. Appreciate it. I heard people in Japan, like older people. I watched a thing where like they like every year so many people, like older people, they like freeze inside their houses because they like I guess they have like this thing where in Japan they don't have central heating a lot, and they use like these heat things, these like electric heaters, and by the time the room heats up, they don't make it or something like that, or they don't have the money to pay for it. But it's kind of crazy how crazy that is. How long have you been drawing? About 2 weeks. No, I'm just kidding. I've been drawing my whole life, just for fun. I used to work in corrections. I chose criminal justice to help others. As thanks, I have a brain tumor, a plethora of other health issues, then a stroke which lost me my career because it messed with my vision. I'm at the cusp of losing the home. I pushed myself to work 70 hours every week between 2 jobs. Maybe someday I'll get that positive breath. But I have no one, and it is hard to breathe in a variety. I appreciate you trying to encourage me. Yeah, 70 is a lot. Anything over 50 is a lot to work. Have you guys figured out how you're gonna buy me a big Italian beef sandwich? I'm self-taught, yeah. I'm self-taught. Hug from a stranger. True hugs. Accepting hug from a stranger in text form. Yeah. Sending out hugs. Yeah, I just kind of like to draw. I'm not, you know, I'm not here to claim anything. I'm not a big school person. I just like to sit and draw, so. He is by being frugal and clever. Are you able to make artful? I am not. No. I don't think I would be able to. I work part-time now from home, but yeah, frugality and this and that. But I do not make enough money off of art. not that I've pushed it that hard to me, but also I think if I did push it as hard as I could, I don't think I would be able to survive. I think I would rather keep this as a fun thing, if that makes sense. I think I'd rather keep it as a thing I enjoy doing. I found that every time I try to make money off of it and go into like making, it's like I just get depressed. I would rather just work my time, just work my job, and then make art a thing I just enjoy. Not that I won't do commissions sometimes, but I'm just saying that's not something I want to push. Or if somebody wants to buy something of mine, that's fine. But I'm not in it to like try and. Foros went to the Academy for Troubled Boys. I never really had a troubled childhood or got into crime or anything like that. Or had like a phase where I created I think part of why I was able to buy a house and like kind of take care of all this because I never got into drugs or did anything like really stupid. So I just I went on a very slow forward path, but it wasn't exciting. I just had a job, saved money, bought a thing, fixed it up, right? Like it wasn't anything it wasn't super big brain moves. I just kind of didn't create a lot of problems for myself. And you can get quite far just by not being really stupid. You're making it sound like he's a delinquent. It does kind of sound like I'm a delinquent, but Foros doesn't like money. I don't like care about money. I only care about it to the extent that I have to, which you have to, because you can't not care about it. I gotcha. We had a universal basic income for artists in the UK, like in Ireland. How do you prove that you're an artist? That would be fucking... Dude, I'm not a communist, guys, but sign me up for that deal. Sign me up for universal basic income for Yuri. Like, I approve of that message. We need UBI for everything. For everyone. I'm not... I like the sound of that Horizon. We definitely need UBI for Yuri. I think we need to like agree on that. Like for me, I'm asking $3,000 a month. I will never complain fucking again. Never complain again. Now that aside, I think we all agree that I should get that money. Creating art in front of a government committee. You have to draw publicly. Yeah. Here's what I'll say. I'm not sure UBI, like, man, look, I think I would love you, like, if AI got to a point where robots were doing everything and you were basically gonna get, like, let's say having apartment, food, internet was, like, guaranteed, right, medical, and you only if you wanted to go above that, you had to go get a job and you could, like, search around and you didn't really have... That would be wonderful. I want that to be the case. I'm not sure if applying UBI right now across the board would work. Like, I know a lot of people, if you gave them... Even me, like, if you're like, Yuri, here's $3,000 a month, don't worry about it, just chill. I don't know how much I would do more than what I'm doing now. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how far I've pushed myself. I mean, like, but like, I'm for UBI. I want it to be, all I'm saying is I want it to be applied in a way that will work, that will benefit humanity. And I think, so, that's all I'm saying. I'm for helping people. I'm not against help. I just don't know if UBI right now, just blanketly, I don't know how many people would go back to work. I know I wouldn't go back to a Walmart or any distribution center or any factory, right? It would be like, on my terms, I'd be like, I want to draw, you know, like, of course, you know, you're gonna want to be cool guy. You're not gonna want to. Sorry, there's a fly in here. We need for food prices, property taxes, and utility. That is what we. Well, that stuff like the taxes that they just need to get rid of like property incomes is like actually against like the U.S. Constitution. Like property taxes was a temporary measure for World War II that they were supposed to get rid of, and then they just never did. Like, there's not supposed to be... Property taxes is like, super anti-American. I shouldn't even be saying that, but, like... Yeah, property taxes was not a thing in America until, like, very recently. That was just to help to fund the war, and then they're like, yeah, never mind, we're never getting rid of that. Taxes are good if they're used properly. I don't mind paying taxes if there's universal health care for everyone. I'm 85% there with you. I'm 85% there with you. I want to push back, but it's too long and nuanced of an argument, so I just don't want to go into it. But I basically, like, agree Like, I don't mind giving resources for, like, you know, help people. If I, like, when I was doing well, like, when I was making good money, I was tipping people, like, I was helping people. Now I'm poor, and I don't do that because I can't. But, you know, I got real generous there for a minute when I was making good money. Exactly, I think this story will have a happy ending. You're not paying attention. If you think the story will have a happy ending, you're not paying attention. Not for us. Like, I still think we're probably gonna have another. There, like bad things will happen, but I think the good ending will come. It'll just take a lot more, like, time, but not for us. But down the road, I think. See, we can agree on like everything. Government wouldn't be able to pay for anything without taxes. They wouldn't have money. Taxes do well. They can print. I mean, if they have the mechanism for printing money, I guess my argument for taxation or like things like that is like I would rather go in a voluntary everything basis. I don't like the idea of. See, I just kind of don't want to go into it because then I have to like lay out the entire argument. Like, if you have a model, like, it should work with like two people on an island, kind of a thing. If there's something that someone has to have by default, society has to provide it for them. If you have only two people, it should still work with those two people. So if I need housing, like you have to provide housing, the other person on that island has to provide a house for me, and back the other way. So all I'm saying is that I'm for helping people, but I want it to be more voluntary, which the government kind of has this tendency to kind of enforce things, and that becomes then problematic down the road. So I'm for it. I'm just saying I want to move in a more everything has to be on a voluntary basis kind of a thing, where you can opt out. And I know people are going to say, well, then people will opt out, but then, you know, anyway. I tend to agree with that will help everyone, even if I hate someone. I don't want anyone to go hungry. True, we don't want people to go hungry. That's very idealized view, not a bad one. If it would work, no, that's what I'm saying. Horizon. So what I'm saying is, I understand the way things work now. Like saying that taxes should be voluntary, right, is not going to work right now. What I'm saying is slowly move in that direction. But well, first of all, like you'd have to like read like. I don't. All I'm saying is like you can't enforce things by force and then kind of call it good because you see it as a value. It's a high enough value to enforce violence because that's what you're doing through the mechanism of the government. Because then you end up in this position where, what if I see something else is good that should be enforced by violence, right? And you kind of end up in this weird loop. All I'm saying is we should move towards more voluntary kind of a system. If you know what I'm saying. It's not going to happen in like, I'm not saying switch it to voluntary taxes, because yes, most people would opt out. Your stream is very dynamic. We usually don't get this into it. I usually don't like to get into this stuff like this, because it's like, I was trying to keep it like more of a, but it's, we're in it now. We're in the sauce now. We might as well just. It's usually not this crazy, but yeah. I mean, it might as well be, right? Like, I do like talking about this stuff. It's just more of an issue with, you know, we live in a world where giving your opinion on stuff can like create problems for you. So having a stream that's a little bit safer is like usually a better idea. That's just like, you know, making fart sounds for like 3 hours is like safer, but we're in it. We might as well just keep going. This mentally only works in a rational world. We live in a world of thieves, swindlers. But don't you think that's what I'm saying? If you have a government, not saying everyone in the government is a swindler and a thief, but all the people who yearn for power and free resources are going to flock to the power structure, right? So how do you, as soon as you create it for good, then the bad people go, oh, I'll just go over there. Like, I'm not gonna like toil in the fields. Like, why would I do that? Right? That's the issue. Is like if you make it like difficult for that mechanism to exist, then you're encouraging you to have less places for the psychopath to saturate an area, right? Yes, you said yourself we're going through an endless series of crises. Yes, and when the world implodes, people will go back to demanding rationality. I think nature will enforce rationality. Like, once the facade is gone, like once things fall apart again, right? Like when the Rome fell and there was the Dark Ages, you had to apply. Like you were either in line with it or nature just killed you. Like you were either in line with reality or nature killed you. But like so we just have to relearn it again, and hopefully we like learn a few more lessons and and move forward. But I'm not hoping. I don't think this is the stage where we figure everything out. I think there's going to be another fall, and then the Dark Ages again, but eventually maybe we'll get to it. So, well, they're not just as fun. Safe, yeah, we're past that point yet. I mean, safe, like you know what I mean. Like, there's streams that are just more like, hey, we're just it's like bubbly and stuff. But yeah, I can't I've wanted to not go into the stuff, but like I just can't not talk about like whenever this stuff gets brought up, I'm like, then I end up just putting my 2 cents in, and then the roller coaster just takes off. Can you explain more about the background in the picture, or can you explain more about the background? There is light, there will be dark. Yin yang. The illustration background. Yeah, I was just like thinking of, spiders and insectoid creatures have been on my mind. They're just repelling down, kind of like doing some kind of an ops. Although now that I'm looking at it, the spider webs kind of being connected to the spiders themselves kind of like looks very AI-y, because there's like no reason for them to be connected directly to the spiders. So I gotta think of a way to connect this to not just like I gotta think through where I'm gonna. You guys get what I'm saying? Is like I don't like the idea of this kind of just it goes here and then like it just kind of disappears. So I'm thinking about adding another thing here to where it connects to the top or something. But the basic premise here is they're doing like a heist. I don't know. I just want a special forces. Bugs. Like that's basically the main premise. There's not like a super big concept here. I've met quite a few rational, immoral Satanists, says Horizon Black. Quite a few logical, immoral theists. Life just isn't black and white. Drinking game idea. Whenever Foro says cookie crumbles, have a drink. I do say that a lot. Yeah. I do say that a lot. I like that phrase because sometimes that's what life is. Like you can't really fully control it. You kind of make with what you kind of got. I don't doubt it. I use the term Satanist to mean inverter or subverter. I always understood Satanism as like sort of kind of like what Satan promotes, like in terms of like traditionally, right? It's like self-belief, kind of we'll get to heaven through self-improvement, right? Isn't that essentially like what Satan? I mean, just mean what? Now we're getting like really controversial territory, but like sort of self-belief is like I forget like is it exactly like what Satan like what Lucifer was promoting against God is like we don't need God, we'll make heaven ourselves through like effort and stuff like that, right? Whereas God says you need me, kind of a thing. I think they're atheists. Says Erota. Nice. Now I want IHOP. Thanks, ads. Yeah, they gotcha. They super gotcha. Do you paint or work in other mediums? Well, if you were here yesterday, I was working on the game. I was doing an sprite for my game that I'm kind of slowly working on. So that was a, what would you call it? That was digital, but that was like a little sprite I was doing. Are those webs in? Yeah, Coolio. Yes, it's basically like spider webs. Yeah, going through the page at the bottom there. I just wanted like some dark decoration, kind of kind of a thing going on. He also paints miniatures. I do paint. Yeah, I do paint minis sometimes on the stream. I'll paint Warhammer minis. That one's actually looking fire. Like at first glance, that one's actually looking fire. He's a little bit on the yellow side. He's like very vibrant, but I actually don't mind that. He looks almost like orc skin, but whatever. I have him in all shapes and colors. Do you play Dungeons and Dragons? I want to. I just gotta find the right group of people. It's very time consuming, and you have to commit weekly to like the same time, so it's hard. But later in life, I love the idea. I love the idea of like Dungeons and Dragons. It's just more. I would rather do Dungeons and Dragons than any other kind of play. Even like competitive combat, like games like Warhammer, where you have two armies fighting. I would rather do something like Dungeons and Dragons, where there's a little bit more of a like narrative interweaving, like it's a story being told with friends. Like this, I think that's like probably the best thing you can do for yourself as a human. But I feel like I don't have the time, and I haven't found the right group of people to do it with. I was invited like here and there, and then I was like, I don't know, I don't know about hanging out with you guys for hours. But so I gotta find the right people. But I'm just kidding. That was a joke. I love the people that offered me to play with them. But I'm tickled by the idea, but I need more. Warhammer, the reason gamers are broke since 1980s. Well, Warhammer wasn't always this horrific thing. Like Warhammer, in terms of pricing, it was a hobby. Now it's like a premium hobby. Like you have to be kind of not wealthy, but like you kind of have to, it's not an inexpensive hobby. Like it really is, Are you interested in something called One Shot, which is friendly for beginners? Essentially a contained story that is started and completed in about 3 or 4 hours. Yeah, I might do something like that one day. Like I don't know. I've never heard about One Shot, but it sounds cool. I've written a TTRPG and a supplement for Pathfinder. Yeah, for me is like right now it's hard because like I basically I do the stream, I work, and then I learn programming a little bit. But I think if I find the right people and all this other stuff, I will do it. So I'm not like a hater. I definitely want to get into it, but right now just isn't like the time. And maybe I'm wrong about that. Maybe right now is the time, but I feel like it's not the time. It's pretty awesome, Horizon. If you ever interested in one shot, my friend does them. Eventually, I would like to run one, but the lines of text are hard for me with my eyes. Are you guys gonna run in like an online group? You're just like looking for like random online people to like get on Discord or something and do it? That's how I imagine it would have to be, right? My gaming group uses Discord to play, so no reading needed. Nice. Yeah, I might. It's actually a good idea to do something like that on Discord. You know what I mean? That doesn't sound like a terrible idea. I also think a 3 or 4 hour story is kind of good because you're more willing to take risks maybe and not care too much about a character you've had for months. So you could like take the hits and be like, oh, you know, I died, and it's not as big of a deal as like if you're committing to a several month campaign or several year campaign where you're definitely gonna get upset if you get killed off. Most Warhammer 40k games are skirmish, I believe. Yeah, like 2,000 point armor. I'm not really sure. I don't know too much about it. I think like most of them are like smaller armies. True, you do get emotionally involved with your fictional characters. Yeah, and I think like the cool thing about sort of the Dungeons and Dragons stuff is that you get kind of you know, it's like you're gonna get more attached to your characters than you would in a video game. Like the only game I've ever played that I felt any connection to any of the characters is like Mass Effect 2. That was like pretty cool, but you know, that's kind of like super rare. That's like once every 10 years you get a game like that. So I think running it like a game like Dungeons and Dragons is like it would be pretty cool. Chat Karma. My friend streams them on Saturdays since they are self-contained adventures and don't need commitment outside of the one adventure. It is good for beginners or people dipping their toes in Horizon. By reading them, I mean if I'm running one, I would have to keep track of my notes. Box text. Playing is nice and easy though. Yeah, I definitely don't want to be the mod or whatever they call it. What do they call the guy running the show? I don't want to do that ever. That sounds exhausting. How long does it take you to finish a piece? You know what? It's hard to say because like this one's been taking a while. I've been on this one for like a little bit now. I don't know exactly. Usually like 25 hours ish. It could be less. It could be 40. You know, in that kind of price range or that kind of time range. I don't try to finish them fast anymore. I just kind of go. Sounds like a good time, Cat. Be right back. Dungeon Master? Yeah, Dungeon Master. That sounds like exhausting. I can't do that. I need somebody else to pick up that. I used to do it a lot for my friends via life. I have a D&D room. After my stroke, it is hard for me to run adventures and follow text fast enough. My vision doubled and text lines run together. That's scary. Yeah, the stroke thing, that's super scary. met a guy who was always a dungeon master. Guy was a mix of comedian and writer. It was a great experience. Yeah, I think you need a certain personality type for that. You need somebody that's like into it. You know what I mean? They're like into it. And I yeah. So I don't think I'm the right. I don't think I'm the right material for that job. I'm definitely more of a. I'm definitely more personality wise somebody that like wants to sit in the corner and tinker with a project, not so much lead a story like that. That sounds quite exhausting. Uh, I used to always be the DM. Frustrations with D&D game design is what led me to write my own. Modern D&D is pretty damn good though. Is this from your imagination or are you using any references? I just use my imagination. Answer behind a paywall, 1999 paywall, just kidding. Nice. No, I just kind of imagine stuff. Sometimes I'll be inspired by something, but I'm pretty sure, like, spiders with guns is not, like, that crazy of a concept to think of. Like, this isn't, like, you don't need to be a super genius to think of something like that, so... Actually, like, I'm looking at this right now, this right here at the bottom, like this kind of design. I can definitely turn this, if I did a page of this kind of stuff, turn this into a, background for the game, or like in one of the menus or something. Like, if I just kept working it out and just doing more and more elaborate things, I could definitely, like, work something out. I still have my monsters book. When I was a kid, I used to spend hours looking at the pictures. The monsters book? Nice. By the way, that is the reason why I frequently go here. This imagination is awesome. Have you seen... Is this Insta? Thank you, Galea. Thank you for the glaze. Appreciate that. Cool work, dude. Steve Wood, Woodham Art. Thank you. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. I'm not Glaze. You're special. Thank you. I always show your Instagram to my students. Thank you, man. Maybe that's why I'm getting followers sometimes. I do get a drip of followers. Maybe it's because you're hustling my channel. I appreciate that. I like that he is a machine. I make art, but I can't focus on it like he does. Yeah, lately I've been a lot. To be fair, when you guys were seeing me be like a machine, it's like I had a lot less stuff to do. Now I got like work and other projects, so it's harder for me to like do like 7-hour streams daily because I'm just more tired now. But yeah, I still like to draw, you know. But I definitely want to finish up those models. Eventually, I want to finish painting those, and I want to work on video games. You know, even if I never finish my game Pest, it will just be a thing I work on. Even if the finishing it sort of is hopeless and pointless. I'm almost thinking like, what if I just had like one game that I worked on forever and it never moved on from that project, right? What if I just it kept expanding the Pest experience, where you had different Pest scenarios where you know, you had like maps where it was 1950s American farm, and you had like secret government laboratories, but each time you had to like basically take out all the humans, or maybe not. Maybe you create mimics and then they infect the humans in a way that doesn't necessarily kill them, and you just integrate. Like the Pest experience should like range from you're an elite hunting unit that kills everything like the Alien, to a swarm that infects everything, to a mimic where, you know, it's like invasion of the Body Snatchers, where you have a mechanic where you're slowly taking over the humans and making them into like sort of you know, you guys have seen Invasion of the Body Snatchers, or they live style of right, and like that's the Pest experience. It just depends on like what style of what style do you want to do, right? Like, what approach do you want to your infection, or, you know, your global takeover? They Live was so good. They need to remake They Live. They need to remake that movie. I really want to see a remake of that. My favorite part was when they discovered that the ruling class was working with the aliens. And I'm like, bro, so true. You know, those guys would be like first in line to like surrender humanity to enslave us to the aliens. Like, you know that's true. If aliens would come, the first place they would go is to the government and like make sure to strike a deal there first. Maybe that's why so many people go missing every year, because like people are so delicious. You know what I mean? It's like people go missing, like millions of people somehow go missing, right? With modern cell phones. Maybe they're just being sold to the aliens for food. I can't prove that, obviously, I'm just speculating, but it's a fun idea. Alright guys, well, I'm at 3 hours and 30 minutes. I think I've said enough crazy things today. That is the reason, yes, humans are delicious. I mean, true. I've never tried it myself, but I believe that humans may be delicious, so... Guys, I'm at 3 hours and 30 minutes. I gotta skedaddle. I still gotta work today, and then I still gotta do my programming, or my work on my game. We'll check it out. Thank you guys. Alright. I super appreciate all the follows and all the convos. We got super controversial, but I think I danced around it pretty well without saying anything super crazy to hinder my existence. But anyway, really dynamic. Have a great night. Yeah, we should have more of that. It's just that, you know, sometimes things might slip out of my mouth, and it's like, oops, you know. All right, guys, thank you so much. I'll leave you to it. I gotta go live the rest of my life. Y'all have a great night. How do I end the stream?